We all know that feeling, right? When it's just so hot. You feel sluggish, sweaty, just drained. But what's actually happening inside your body when that happens? Well, today we're going to go way beyond just the feeling. We're going to look under the hood at the incredible biological war your body is fighting just to keep you going when the temperature skyrockets. Let's get into it. So let me just ask you, how hot is actually too hot for us? I mean, you might think of the hottest day you can remember, maybe 100, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. But the real absolute limit for the human body, it's not just about that number you see on the thermometer. And the real answer, it's probably going to surprise you. That's it, 31 degrees Celsius, which is about 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've been in way hotter weather than that. But hang on. This number from researchers at Penn State isn't just temperature. It's what's called a wet bulb temperature. You got to think of it as a combo of heat and humidity. And when that combination hits this exact number, your body, even a young, healthy body, completely loses its ability to cool off. Okay, so to really get why that 31-degree wet bulb number is such a critical danger zone, first we need to appreciate the amazing piece of hardware we all come with. I'm talking about your body's own built-in air conditioning system. It's this incredible process called thermoregulation. You know, thermoregulation is all about one thing: balance. All our internal machinery, our organs, our cells, all the tiny enzymes doing their jobs, they're all designed to work perfectly, but only in this super narrow temperature window, right around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If you stray too far from that sweet spot, they start to break down, and fast. So how does it all work? Well, it all starts up in your brain, in this tiny little region called the hypothalamus. Think of it as your body's own command center, or thermostat. When it senses your blood is getting just a little too warm, it launches this two-part attack. First, it tells the blood vessels near your skin to widen up. That brings all that hot blood to the surface so it can radiate heat away from you. Second, it flips the on switch for millions of your sweat glands. And that sweat, that's our secret weapon. And that system is incredibly, incredibly effective. But it has an Achilles heel. There is one thing in our environment that can totally shut down our most powerful cooling tool, basically making our internal AC useless. And that one thing is humidity. Okay, just look at this comparison here because it makes it so clear. In dry heat, the air around you is thirsty. It wants moisture. So your sweat evaporates almost instantly. And when it does, it pulls a ton of heat away from your skin. Fantastic. But in humid heat, the air is already totally saturated with water. It's like a full sponge. Your sweat just sits there. It has nowhere to go. And just like that, your body's main cooling engine has stalled, and you can actually start gaining heat from the air around you. And this brings us right back to that super important idea: wet bulb temperature. It is not just some nerdy weather term, I promise. It is the real deal metric that tells us when our secret weapon, evaporation, stops working. It's the true measure of heat stress. That's why a 90-degree day in a swampy, humid place can be way more dangerous than a 110-degree day in a bone-dry desert. So what happens when our whole cooling system fails and our core temperature starts to climb? Well, the fight for survival moves from our skin to this microscopic battlefield. We're talking about a war happening inside trillions of your individual cells. The first casualties in this internal war are proteins. Proteins are like these tiny biological machines that do pretty much everything in our cells, and their power comes from their super complex, perfectly folded 3D shape. Heat is like a bully that comes in and just starts unfolding them, making them lose their shape. That's called denaturation, and once that happens, they stop working. The cell's whole operation just grinds to a halt. But, and this is amazing, our cells have their own emergency response team. And get this, we found out about them by accident. Back in the 60s, a scientist named Ferruccio Retosa accidentally cranked the heat up too high on some fruit fly larvae and saw something weird. That mistake led to the discovery of heat shock proteins. You could think of them as cellular paramedics. When a protein gets mangled by heat, these little guys rush in, grab it, and try to fold it back into its correct shape. It's this ancient defense system that's in pretty much every living thing. But even this incredible cellular SWAT team has its limits. And as physician Pope Mosley, who studied this stuff his whole career, puts it so simply, I think we really underestimate heat. Because when the damage is happening faster than the paramedics can respond, it sets off this chain reaction of failure inside the cell. It's like a fire that can keep burning long after you've gotten out of the sun. And that's a really important point. Even if you survive getting seriously overheated, the whole ordeal can leave behind these hidden molecular scars that can affect your health for weeks or months or maybe even longer. Take a look at this really cool study from the University of Ottawa. Researchers exposed people to 9 hours of serious heat. So what happened? In the younger adults, their cells cleanup crews, they worked fine. They took out the trash. But in the older adults, that system was struggling. Damaged proteins weren't getting cleared out, and they saw more signs of cells actually self-destructing. This helps explain why older people are so much more vulnerable during a big heat wave. And this chart? Wow. This shows an even more shocking long-term effect. A study from USC looked at people's epigenetic clocks, which is basically a way to measure your biological age versus your actual birthday age. And what they found was that people living with over 140 days of extreme heat a year were biologically more than a year older than people in cooler places. Heat, it turns out, can literally make you age faster. The damage doesn't even stop there. Your immune system can take a long-term hit. Studies on mice have shown that a heat stroke can leave these lasting marks on their immune cells. A full month after they recovered, their immune systems were still weaker. This could be a huge clue as to why humans who get hospitalized for heat stroke are so often hit with secondary infections. The heat is gone, but the damage lingers. So the bottom line here is that understanding all this science, it's not just for fun, it's about survival. And a huge part of that is busting some really common and frankly dangerous myths about how to deal with extreme heat. This slide right here is so important. Let's do some rapid fire myth busting. You think a fan always helps you? Wrong. Once you get above about 95 degrees, a fan is just blowing superheated air on you. It's acting like a convection oven, making you hotter. What about putting ice packs on your neck and wrists for heat stroke? Yeah, it's okay, but it is way too slow when someone's life is on the line. And the biggest myth of all, that you should avoid ice baths because of shock. In reality, for a life-threatening heat stroke, getting that person into cold water immediately is the gold standard. It's the absolute fastest way to bring their core temperature down, and it has a nearly 100% success rate if you do it fast. You know, for all of human history, our bodies have been miracles of adaptation. We've evolved this unbelievable complex system to deal with heat. But what all this science is showing us is that there are hard physical limits that no amount of willpower or adaptation can overcome. And as our world keeps getting hotter, we are pushing up against those limits more and more. And the question that leaves us with is, have our miraculous bodies finally met their match?